You'll understand this if you're meant to understand this. And I want people to understand sometimes that what you see and what you perceive might not always be the same thing as what's happening on, but there's always guides. There's always your ancestors, your spirit guides right next to you, helping you get a little bit further than you're supposed to be going. And remember, sometimes through all the learning, you got to have a little bit of fun and dance with your ancestors. We got to turn it on, 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 turn it on. We got to turn it on, go, 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 Crazies, man, y'all are in the lab. Lee here, y'all saw that title too as well, man. We are talking about a trip report, man, spiritual awakening breakthrough. Probably one of the biggest ones I've ever had in my entire life. I've had tons of them, more multiple ones, but this one in particular is by far the one that's got me a whole bunch of different ways of thinking. But before I get this going, I want people to understand that I have been doing this for over 6 years. I got over 600 trips under my belt, including LSD, mushrooms, DMT, you name it. I've done the psychedelics. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a master at my trade, because if you're a master, that means you stop learning. I'm always going to learn. I'm always going to keep continuing to learn in my schools in this trade. I also want you to understand, if you do decide to drive down any of these kind of rabbit holes with these kind of plant medicines, understand to do it in a safe setting. Have your trip sitter, have you somebody who knows, at least do your research and understand what you're doing, because understand that these things are powerful. These things will change your perspective on how you think and view the world, and these things will actually change you in a sense of better and happiness and understandings. So let's get this going. Yes, my latest trip report is crazy because I actually had made one of these a week ago. It is still in my little ring through, and I was going to make it out, but it was just so much more I had to understand about this breakthrough that I had. Now, last Monday, coming back from my birthday, I came back, sat down, I had a trip, watched Super Mario Brothers. Now, I've seen it already. I've seen it like 3-4 times. I enjoy that movie. I've tripped to it like twice. And this trip was so different than any other trip I ever had. And so while watching the movie, all the other stuff, I'm not going to get into it, but it was literally like, all I can say is like everything of ounce of my body melted away. I melted to the core of my system. And that's the only way I can describe this. Everything cut off. Everything, I'm up in the head. Everything substance. And it was literally me getting my star power, getting the superstar within myself. That's kind of how I took it. I'm a star child. I'm an indigo child. That's just, it is what it is. You know, it'll resonate to people, understand it. But man, there's a point like at the end of the movie when they're going towards the star, they all jump out and they reach it. I'm telling you, I'm all melted away. This is gone. In my mind, it's over. I'm done. You know, in my mind, this is it. I don't know how I'm doing it. This is it. And they jump and they reach and jump the star. They grab the star, and I just like, as soon as they grab the star, this just the light, the energy, the growth of, I should say, it's my light aura. And I guess that's the best way to put that. The light aura shut on, it turned on. The stars in my eyes clicked on, and my star seed, my powers, my mind, the cassette. It was unbelievable. And they're doing what they're doing. They're kicking, you know, they're just doing what they're doing. And then, you know, they get to Bowser, and they're just doof, doof, doof. They jump in the sky. And when they go into the sky after they knock Bowser up, and it's both Luigi and Mario, it was like both my stars shot up to the crown chakra. And at that, you know, seeing the evil, all the stupid shit, the world that was holding me down in the old worth, I'm looking at it, and he's looking at me and Luigi, boom, knocked him down, came down. I don't know how to explain the feeling, but it was this sense of, I have took away all this old karma. You've heard me talk about this, where I was like, all this old karma was knocked away, the evil, the bad, whatever you want to call it, the old shit, you know, just went away. And man, my mind's still rattling on it a little bit. Then, you know, with all that going around, kind of like the old stuff and the old things going on, I drop back and I watch Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong. And there's a part, you know, and all this, you know, I'm already melted away. I'm already in it. I'm seeing the other side. I'm seeing the Mushroom Kingdom. I'm seeing the second sight. I'm seeing what's going on behind the scenes of the universe. They're letting me play. They're letting me see. They're letting me learn. They're upgrading me. And there's a scene there's a scene in Godzilla and Kong where they go down. The kids they go down and they end up seeing Mega Godzilla, and they have to eat. They're basically testing out Mega Godzilla and with the Skull Crushers. And the part basically, man, when Mega Godzilla grabs one of the Skull Crushers and he throws his atomic flame and it starts burning it straight down. It to me it was like all my light, all my aura crowned up going down, slicing down, activating every sense of my chakra to the extent that what I needed to do, the old self, the old me. And the second it was going down, Mega Godzilla rips him apart. And I'm telling you, I knew what was going on, but in my mind, in my feelings, the senses that I had, fucking Mega Godzilla just ripped me entire half. Just ripped everything off. Just ripped me in half. All that was left was my light aura in my brain. All the connections of the light, the aura. And it was freaky. It was crazy. The Green Chick Fighters, it was freaky. It was crazy. I understood what was going on. I don't understand what was going on. I'm trying to understand what was going on. I'm still alive, I think. And, and it was just so wild. But then it got to me where I was like, well, I understand that part. I've gone through this a little bit before, touched a little bit of it, kind of like that. We are all a machine. We've all built machines. If you want to call this body or our lights a machine, we're all connected to it. And sometimes we have to melt away the old to get into the new machine, or to let the old stuff or the new build itself back up. And it was so wild, but it was crazy. And throughout the week, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it all and all that. And it was just so wild, so wild. And so I sit back, I think it was another day or two, or actually it was last night, sit back and I turn on, actually, Pandora, Wave of Water, Other Way of Water. And my goodness, oh my goodness. First off, wonderful movie. Pandora, the whole story is just phenomenal. And The Way of the Water, just was a wonderful experience and a trip, because it took me down back to where I was going in my roots and chakras, and understood that these oceans are in our minds. Water doesn't start or water doesn't end. Water stays the way it is. It was its form. It does what it does. The waves of the water. And it was crazy, because just swimming in my mind, just because I let everything go, and it just swimming in my mind and understanding the senses of all of our beings, of everything else, the creations of all this energy that makes every sense of creature, entity, alive. And that's what that was teaching me. It's like we have to get back to ourselves, one with everything in nature, earth, technology. We are that part of that technology, but the technology has evolved that we have kind of built our own, and that's kind of how this system works. But we have to be thankful for what we have too, as well, and understand that this world and energy, the good or the bad, has its own different flows of way of energies of the waters, and you have to find your path. You have to get out of the old wave. And it did teach me through all this, as well as I'm learning and experiencing going through, is that this is a school. Earth is a school for us. Earth is a school for our senses and our, and our souls, our light. Because in a sense, we are alive here, but we're not alive here. If that makes any sense. We are in our avatar bodies. We are the avatars. This body right now is an avatar. We're just controlling it. And the sense of everything that was going on through all these trips that I've had, these major breakthroughs of this, is like the wires have been cut from the system. I don't know how to explain it. This is the only way I can think of it, to imagine it. The old systems have all been cut away. And I can't lie, it's weird. It feels weird. It feels weird. I used to pop my neck all the time. And there's ever since this has happened, there's been no pain. There's been no sense of having to crack my neck. It's kind of like the tension has gone away. And in a sense, it's eerie. In that eerie, it's wonderful. But in a sense, it is a little bit frightening because I've never experienced this kind of upgrade, this kind of enlightenment, this kind of peace and calm ever in a breakthrough in my entire life. I've had many breakthroughs, breaking through a little bit of the matrix, understanding the systems. I've had tons and tons and tons of breakthroughs. But this breakthrough was just so much more real. Everything is so much different to me. Everything, my sight, my mind, my thought patterns, just everything. The breath I breathe, the heartbeat, and it's everything. It's changed so much. And it's, that's why I'm doing this today now, because it's gave me a week to dive down even deeper into myself to understand what is going on. But I'm bringing this to you too because, I'm with you. I'm here with you for the people that are leveling up and upgrading, coming into this new world as we all seem to be coming as we're waking up. And I'm understanding that's where I'm standing at now, is actually in my new world, this 5D plane. And it can be a little frightening, it can be scared. I'm not going to be the one to lie to you about it, because I get what's happening, but I don't get what's happening, and the anxiety of understanding these processes of spiritual elevation, upgrades of bodies, our own bodies and minds, and what this thing can do up here. This thing is amazing. This thing controls this, and it still controls this, and it's so wild to me to think, to just imagine being at a place now in my time, especially with everything that I've gone through. I'm not saying it was, everything was bad. I'm not saying everything was good. I had a wonderful life, but this recent year has been one of those years, that if I wasn't as strong as I am, if I gotta put it for the plant medicine, if I haven't never experienced the incense and understand how to learn and teach and to use this kind of energy, I don't know where I would be. I don't know how I would have handled everything that was on my plate this year that had happened, with mom passing and all of that and going through all this stuff. Even before this year, But that shows me that anything is possible. The strength was within you. The only person at the end of the day, no matter how spiritual, how great, how whatever it is, whatever you're trying to accomplish, when you hit a roadblock and you feel like it's all over, that is the time to pick yourself back up and push even harder. That's something I learned. Push harder, no matter how fucking scared, how frightening, how awkward, how weird, how whatever it could be. Get up, use your strength to push yourself further, because you're the only one that can push yourself to that point, to your point, past the point to where you're going. You're the only person that can stop you from going to that point. And that's been a lot of what I've been hearing in my universe is, Lee, that you pushed through all the shit that would have scared people away. You pushed through shit that they threw at you that they think that you would have never accomplished or pushed through. They thought you was going to quit, call it quits, die down right there, but you stood up. And that power's in you too. I'm myself, I'm Lee. You are you, but you have the same exact light, the same exact power, even the same exact energy, maybe even stronger than mine, inside yourself. My trip with Spiritual Reports, what I do is how I do what I do. I am one of those people that were gifted by the source to be able to do these kind of things, to dive deep into my mind and my soul, the bodies of the universe, the Akashic records, the ancient history trees, all of that. But I'm not the only one that can. I'm not the only one that's strong enough can. Y'all are too. I don't know where I was going with it, but it is crazy. My experiences through these 6 years of psychedelics has been phenomenal. This past week or two has been such a different change that I see a future brighter than I saw before. I have a feeling of a sense that is happy. It's greatness, as my cat is talking. Happy, it's greatness, it's abundance, it's lovable. It's everything that I can imagine, but I have never imagined or never felt before in my entire life. And I guess that's the part where the insecurity, the discomfort, the anxiety come from, because I have never felt this before. I guess I have before in the past, in past life. I've never felt this before. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Believe me, I'm blessed to be able to feel this. But at the same time, it is really, really new. I guess the end of this thing is, with you diving deep, with whatever you do in your mind, do what you can do to update yourself spiritually. Do it. Don't be afraid of what people might think of you. Don't be afraid of people telling you, oh, you're not going to mount, because they don't know you. Who gives a fuck about them, right? They're not you. Keep your head up. Keep your mind up. Keep your vibes up, your vibrations well, so that those who do throw the shade at you doesn't even affect you. It goes right on over, comes right back to them. Fucking karma's a bitch. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of my story, man, because this is literally lights of a story. This is one of my documentaries of what I have to tell and what I have to do. It is something to speak. I have all my voice. I have all my light in soccer. Now it's time to share, time to teach, and maybe just time to have some fun. Man, I love each and every one of you. I want to see each and every one of your light shine as bright as mine, because I know it can. And hell, I can shine brighter. I know I can. Till then, y'all keep your mind open, because those eyes will see everything in front of you. Y'all stay crazy.
You gave us something we never thought we could have.
And what is that?
Another chance.
I think I heard a shot. I think I heard a shot. I think I heard